Welcome and peace and blessings be upon you, dear viewers of Horn of Africa TV. This is the 6th program in the Somali edition. I'm your host, Mohamoud, and I'll be interviewing Ms. Sadia Mohamed from the Somali Lyrics Project. Today, we're broadcasting from Germany and Canada, and I'd like to take the opportunity to thank our viewers and supporters for your likes, comments, shares, and subscriptions. دعوة القصة دواد برنامج كهون of Africa TV. maanta waxaan wareysanaynaa Sadia Mohamed waxaana ka hadlaynaa heesaha Soomaaliga oo lagu turjumay afka Ingiriiska. Our topic today is Somali culture, specifically music translated from Somali to English. Ms. Sadia Mohamed, thank you very much for joining us and welcome.
Thank you very much, Mohamoud, for having me. Assalamu alaikum to all your viewers. I was very flattered when you invited me on here to have a conversation. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining us. And please, can we start with an introduction of yourself?
Yeah, I was born in Somalia, and I think my origin story is similar to a lot of Somalis in the diaspora. Born in Somalia, war happened, moved to Kenya, then the UK, and now I live in Canada.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. So Somalis are an oratory nation, known as the nation of poets. Everything from love to war is turned into poetry or some other kind of artistic expression. There are hundreds of genres and styles of dances, songs, and poetry. There's simultaneously variation and similarity between the different tribal dances and songs, and also the regional ones. There's a very popular song in all of East Africa, Dirio. I was surprised when my East African friends mentioned this old Somali song to me, because I thought it was only, a Somali song, but it actually touched everyone in the region. And now that the song has even greater reach in other parts of the world, I see your effort as a major piece of the puzzle to getting it not just to other parts of the world, but actually allowing others to understand and see the beauty of our culture. So my first question is actually two parts. First part of the first question is, when did you start? And secondly, what was your motivation? So why did you start? For example, do you want to have an impact of some kind, such as countering the negative stereotypes and media portrayals of Somalia and Somalis?
I started, for the first question, I started in the winter of 2017. That was when I was doing the logos and picking which songs to translate. But the actual first video I uploaded was in 2018. In terms of why I started, I love Somali songs. And I think I found myself trying to understand, wait, what does that actually mean? The first song I remember asking my parents, what does herti mean? It was the song To Small by Awali Adam, because my mom's called Amina, and I wanted to understand, what is this song about? So I would do that informally with my parents. I do get a lot of help. And then I realized my vocabulary was improving. And as it was doing that, I wanted to help other people improve their vocabulary as well. In order to feel that connection, I feel like once you leave Somalia, you gradually, I felt, started to lose that connection. I started to think in English. I speak English at home. And I want to maintain that connection to my culture. And yes, it is hard to see people portraying Somalis in a certain way when we know who we are and we know that we're better than that. So yeah, for the most part, it was to encourage people who might be getting further and further away from their culture to reconnect, and also to share our beautiful language with the rest of the world. Somalis do have a way of phrasing things, even when it's scary or when it's a breakup song. It has some humor to it. It has intense emotions said in a very beautiful way. So I thought that was worth sharing with the rest of the world.
Yeah, that's a wonderful answer. what were the challenges, and what did you learn in the process?
Well, if I could start with what I learned is how much value Mia life, Rabadia life, adds to Somali language. A lot of the times when I would say, what does this word mean? Most of the times my parents would say, when you're looking after camels or with cows or, so that culture, that lifestyle of HoA adds a lot of vocabulary and richness to our language. That is one thing for me is a lesson that I have learned. On the other hand, it adds to the challenge of translating, because these are words, some of which I have never heard before. I look at the qamus and I understand it, I ask my parents, and then after that, there is no English equivalent. So on one hand, I'm excited, I've learned a new word and I want to share this new word. But at the same time, I want to stay true to the emotion of the song. And there's also word limits on a screen. How quickly can people read? Yeah. So it's that balance constantly to share what I have learned in terms of vocabulary, but at the same time, stay true to the song. If I can give an example, there's a song I'm translating right now by Qadr Silimo. It's called Wilo. And one of the lines is Naftiku Weirahese. I don't know what Weirah is, so I look it up. And it is, my qamus is Somali to Somali. So it says, Dagalka o dagaltamo, Haywanka, o dalay, Marko daremo, ubid kisa, in o dibkujiro, something like that, right? Yeah. So that's, when you think about it, okay, so what that means is the fighting that an animal or a parent fights when they feel that their offspring is in danger. Yeah. And I think, okay, so that's to protect, to shelter, it has so many different ways you can say it in English, but there is no word in English, at least that I know.
No, there's no equivalent.
Right? It's a parents fighting for their child. Yeah. So I'm like, what a beautiful word. And now I have to translate it, but I can't really share that with people in that same way. So that is definitely a challenge. Another challenge I face is with the lyrics. There's no official source of lyrics. So I'm listening to a song dozens of times just to be sure that I've heard it correctly. Cross-referencing with people who've done lyrics on YouTube or online, but I'm never 100% certain. It makes the quality control process a bit longer, because I'm like, what are you hearing? And sometimes I like lower the speed to 0.5, 0.75, just so that I can be certain of what it is I'm hearing. So those are two main challenges that I face.
Yeah, and I can imagine that some of the songs, they're probably back in the 60s, recorded on some old equipment. So, the sound quality is not always that great either. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But ironically, some of those songs, which I do want to translate, were very popular at the time. So I feel like my mom has a lot more, can be a lot surer of what it is that they're saying, because they're very popular. And that's one of the things that I'm trying to do, is to bring those songs back, which some people in our generation have never heard or are not aware of. And I want to keep that alive. That's one of the goals that I have.
Yeah. Okay. So my other question is, with all the thousands of Somali songs that are out there, how do you choose? What's your process for choosing a song to translate from all those options out there?
There are a lot of options out there. There are a lot of songs, mashallah. So I guess I do get a lot of recommendations from people in my family. I look at requests on the YouTube channel. But the songs that I translate tend to fall into three categories. Like, for example, what I mentioned about keeping some songs alive. So Beledweyne, that's one of the reasons I translated that song. There's an Umar Sholi song that I've translated. Another category, I should say, is popular songs. Songs that we all love and enjoy. And then people want to know, what does that exactly mean? Another category is songs that I think are important, sort of like Africa Hurudoi. So songs with a very significant meaning and historical significance. Those are also songs that I look for.
So it's a cool way to choose, I guess. So what is your goal? and what is the best feedback you've had so far?
My main goal of getting people reconnected with their heritage, with their language, that hasn't changed. And that is one of the main things that drives me. And the other one of sharing Somali language and the beauty of Somali culture with the world also is something that drives me. Sometimes, actually, when we reconnected, I started to look at the comments and I see some people having a conversation of, oh, I would say it this other way, or, this song, So I really love that it has sparked conversation for people on the topic of our language. And when I was looking at the comments, actually, my husband found this comment, which I thought was very beautiful. Somebody said, if you're alive, because I haven't done this since 2018 when my dad died, and somebody said, if you are alive, please come back and do some more. And if you've passed away,
oh, wow.
And that comment just really melted my heart. I don't make any money from this. I know there are adverts on the channel, but that's YouTube who put the adverts on there. So I'm not getting any money from this. And it wasn't why I started. So when somebody says, to that person, firstly, I want to say I am alive. Alhamdulillah, I haven't gone yet. And thank you so much for those kind words. Du'u, to me, is the best thing that somebody could share with me or say to me. So that's the best feedback I've ever had.
And I guess this is, maybe top 10, the fact that, we noticed your channel and we just had to get in touch with you and see who's behind this wonderful project. So I hope at least, we're in the top 10 somewhere.
Absolutely. That was super flattering. I was like, wait, what, me? And I looked at your channel, I'm like, ambassadors and mashallah, some very important people. So I do feel very underqualified to be on this channel, but I appreciate you reaching out. Thank you.
Not at all, because the people who are preserving the culture, they're probably playing an even bigger role in some ways. So, yeah. Okay. Is there anything you would advise to those watching? So you've got Somalis in the diaspora, you've got other East Africans, and you've got non-Africans or non-East Africans who are just interested in Somali music or Somali culture.
I don't know if I'm qualified to give people advice, but to the fellow East Africans who are watching the channel, I would say, please consider translating some of your songs too. I listen to these songs, I love them, and I would love to know what they mean, Yeah. To non-Somalis, non-East Africans, and actually to some East Africans as well, I would say, if you like Somali music, you're going to love Somali food. No matter where you are, I'm sure there's a Somali restaurant out there, go give it a go. Portions are very generous, the food tastes delicious, and it's usually quite affordable. So give it a try. To the Somalis in the diaspora, the ones who are trying to improve the Somali, I say, good on you. See what shekada, keep going. Inshallah, it'll improve day by day. To those whose Somali is excellent, much, much better than mine, mashallah, consider translating things, not just from Somali to English, but from English to Somali. There's a lot of information out there on every single topic. And I find it a shame that there's a language barrier to Somalis back home. I think they would benefit a lot from what's out there, whether it's psychology, counseling, mathematics, engineering, whatever topic you can think of. Consider starting a channel. If anybody needs help in terms of advice, in terms of how to get started, reach out. And I will absolutely share what I know. To people who want to translate, but maybe don't want to start their own channel, reach out. You can post stuff on the Somali Lyrics Project. So, yeah.
Maybe you can mention your channel, actually, the name, how they find you.
It's the Somali Lyrics Project.
Yeah.
I wanted to make it as obvious as possible what was happening.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and my email address is thesomalilyricsproject@gmail.com.
Easy.
Straightforward.
So thank you again, Sadia Mohamed, so much for joining us, and I really enjoyed talking to you. And those at home, thank you for watching. We look forward to seeing you all on the next program.
Thank you, Mohamed, for having me.